Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is October 2nd, and right now we are looking at the infrared satellite imagery. Check out our storm system. It's still spinning up there, but it is weakening quite dramatically, and it will continue to do so as we go through the day today, kicking off a few more showers with it. You can see it's still producing some clouds here across the region, but as this system moves out, we're going to go through a bit of a pattern change and switch things up a bit. We'll go over that in some detail. We'll take a look at the extended forecast as always as we go through the video here this morning. So this was yesterday afternoon, and as we go through the morning hours, still got some elevated wave action up and down the west coast of North America from this relatively strong storm, but it will be on the wane as we go through the day tomorrow. Look at that Friday, the waves really start to die down quite a bit, and we're going to turn things even a bit offshore, and that is going to dramatically reduce the wave action out over the open water. Don't get used to it, though. We have some of the best wave watching here for anywhere in the world, really, here along the west coast of North America. Some really awesome locations. Shore Acres, got Cape Disappointment. It's going to be closed here actually most of this year, but there's some really nice wave watching action up and down the Washington coast and Vancouver Island coastline there as well. So yeah, pick your favorite spot and stay tuned to the channel here as we go on in through the rest of the fall and the winter season. Now, taking a look here, as we go through yesterday, this is yesterday morning. Look at some of these thunderstorms there off over the open ocean there and moving towards the coastline as we went through the morning hours. Nice slug of precipitation woke me up yesterday morning as well. Then we go through the afternoon hours. Thunderstorms continue to come towards the Washington coastline. Then we had a nice line of thunderstorms move right up some of the Kitsap Peninsula, moved across some of the sound up towards Mount Vernon, and we have multiple rounds of showers showing up there. And also look at what happened during yesterday evening there across some of eastern Oregon, pushing across the Washington border into eastern Washington. Quite active thunderstorm activity here with that pulse of precipitation that moved up and across the region. And we come back out towards this morning. You still see some showers being produced. You can't rule out completely a lightning strike or two, but it will not be as widespread as what happened yesterday. So if you want your own affordable lightning detection system, this is the weather station to get. Click on the link down below to save 10% off. I wish I had this when I was a kid. Oh, it's so much fun. I've got two of these that I test at my house right now. Stores the data for you in the cloud, does everything that you want a weather station to do. So click on that link down below to help support the channel. Lightning strikes last 24 hours. Everything we just looked at there, this should make sense. Now taking a look at the European model. So there is our low pressure system here. So what comes next? Well, we've got a weak frontal system that will arrive with this short wave that moves down, and this is going to bring some chilly air, especially across some of the interior areas. Some snow for the higher terrain, really raw in the backcountry across portions of Idaho, Montana, down towards Yellowstone. More on that here in a moment. But you'll also see what's happening. This ridge starts to push in across the Pacific Northwest. This is going to kick our flow back offshore as we go on into the early portion of next week. A couple very nice days coming up here. We'll go over that in a bit more detail here, but look at what is coming here rather quickly as we go on in through Tuesday afternoon. Another trough setting up here for the Pacific Northwest. We'll take a look at that in the extended forecast more here in a moment as well. So if we take a look, there's our low pressure system there. And you can see that Saturday morning frontal system is right there. It does drop 1/10 of an inch across places like Seattle, maybe down towards Portland, getting a little bit of precipitation. It's not a big rainmaker by any stretch of the imagination, but you can see it does bring some chillier air and some meaningful snowfall for places like Yellowstone, especially about 5,000 feet across some of the Rockies of Alberta, British Columbia, Idaho, western Montana. So yeah, and it's going to get pretty chilly here with some of this colder air settling back across the region. And then as we go off into next week, you can kind of see how we do dry out for at least a few days here across Pacific Northwest before that next system potentially arriving as we go through maybe Tuesday night on in through the day Wednesday. So wider view of things here, we're taking a look at 850 millibars or 5,000 feet. There's our low pressure system spinning off the coast. The blues and the greens are below normal. The yellows and the oranges and the reds are above normal at 5,000 feet for this time of year. So if we take a look at that system coming through on Saturday there, you can kind of see this chillier air aloft, and this is really going to impact, again, interior portions. But you can also see the anticyclone developing here over the Gulf of Alaska, the ridging and the offshore flow. We're going to ramp up these temperatures. I mean, my goodness, look all the way across Alaska, northwest Montana there, and all the way across British Columbia, western Washington, western Oregon are going to warm up here for a couple of days. It's not going to be a big heat wave or anything like that, but you're definitely going to be dealing with some pretty nice weather as we go through Monday, Tuesday, it looks like, before maybe another system starts to arrive. Now, winter light conditions conditions, Missoula, Montana National Weather Service, just a great graphic here. You can see snow above 5,000 feet could be impactful. And some of these temperatures dropping into the 30s, maybe the 20s for some overnight lows. Gusty northerly winds, wind chills in the teens here. So watch out for the key impacts. And again, you can kind of see where these highlighted areas are. And this should include Southwest Montana and Yellowstone as well. But this is just Missoula National Weather Service forecast. But you can also see some of these chilly temperatures. Look at the forecast low temperatures Monday, October 6th. So if you are heading off to the east out of Spokane or Seattle or Portland, whatnot, and going across Idaho, Montana, I-90, watch out for these conditions as you go on in through this weekend and on in through the early portion of next week. I mean, look at that. Great Falls 28, Cut Bank 23 degrees, Butte dropping down into maybe the lower 20s as well. Now, looking at the total snow here, again, kind of highlighting what's going on there off portions east across Idaho and Montana, Yellowstone. You can see some of that significant or first significant snowfall for the fall season. So, yeah, be aware of that. Now, looking at 2-meter temperature anomaly, if we scroll through here, you'll see that chilly air across some of the Intermountain West there on Sunday into Monday morning. But then as we go off in through Monday afternoon, you can really see the temperatures warming up here across Western Washington, Oregon, British Columbia, and that will be the case again on Tuesday. There's some model disagreement on just how fast this next system is going to roll in. But I want to show you what's going on here as far as sea level pressure is concerned. So here we go, and there's that ridge really building in here. And you can see the high pressure is over the interior portions. And what can loosely be described as the thermal trough here, because it will be above normal temperatures here for Western Washington, Western Oregon. That very subtle feature there, the lower pressure, the offshore flow associated with this higher pressure inland, will be with us as we go on in through Tuesday before maybe another pattern change after that. Now, if we look at 100-meter wind speeds, when do those winds turn offshore? Well, if we scroll on in through this weekend and go towards Sunday, you can kind of see how things start to turn northeasterly there across the Fraser River Valley. And you can also see these winds starting to rip out of the north there for the Okanagan River Valley. That's a cold air conduit that does go all the way back up into British Columbia that can bring cold air down in the winter months here. It's not doing so with this round. Maybe a little bit chillier air with that as we go through the weekend, but you can kind of see how these features work. There's a Fraser River Valley, Okanagan River Valley, and of course, once cold air gets into the eastern portions of Oregon and Washington, it can come back through in towards Portland, through the Columbia River Gorge. But yeah, we're going to be dealing with some offshore winds as we go on in towards next week, and it will be keeping things fairly warm and bring some very nice days here for Western Oregon and Western Washington, and all the way on in through Tuesday. You see, we still got some of these winds coming down across the Cascades. It doesn't show them being too excessively strong right now. We'll watch that close so you can kind of see where the Stampede Gap there is, probably gusting towards 40 miles per hour at the top and maybe a bit more windy through the Columbia River Gorge as we go through the morning on Tuesday. Now, looking at temperatures here, this is for today, October 2nd, Thursday. When we go through Friday, Saturday, we're going to have that weak frontal system moving down. So we're going to keep things suppressed here across the area, but we go through Sunday. Monday, we start to warm back up, maybe back up towards 70 for Seattle and some nice offshore winds. Some glorious days here in early October for some locations. Tuesday, even a bit warmer before maybe starting to knock the temperatures back down, again, depending on how fast that next system arrives. So looking at the artificial intelligence, if I put this into motion, you can see our low pressure system going by. There's going to be that weak system that comes by on Saturday. Bigger impacts there off to the east, like I've been mentioning here across the higher terrain. Ridge builds across the region and starts to give us a bit of a shield there as we go through Monday, Tuesday, some offshore flow. And then it wants to bring that next system as we go on in through next week. And that starts to kind of pedal some of these precipitation chances back into the Pacific Northwest. And again, we won't get caught up in those details too much just yet, but it is the time of year there where ridges don't tend to hang out for long, and we start to get some of these systems rolling back through the area. So you can kind of see the pattern change there on the artificial intelligence model. Scroll off into the extended forecast, pretty chilly upper level low. That would be swinging through the area also as we go through the mid portion of October, but you don't want to get caught up in those details too much just yet. And that kind of looks like an atmospheric river signature there. Now, if we take a look at that, we're scrolling through here. I want to scroll all the way out into the extended forecast and kind of see when the next precipitation arrives. Yeah, it's at some point of the end of next week as you see those precipitation chances start to return yet again. Then we go towards the end, and yes, indeed, that is an atmospheric river signature showing up way off into Fantasyland. Don't put any stock in that just yet, but it is that time of year where those can start occurring. And surprisingly, a lot of people don't realize that I do a California Weather Watch channel, so I thought I'd mention that. I do post these daily updates as well on the Patreon page, so click on the Patreon link down below and check it out. We are very close to 40,000 subscribers here on the California channel. So yeah, I imagine I can get a few people to click on that and get us up over 40,000. Got about 5,000 people that have subscribed here over the last month or so. Some pretty active weather across portions of California. So anyway, hope you guys are having a good day. Click like and subscribe. We'll do this all again tomorrow, and I'll talk to you guys then.